Buying your first property in Czech Republic can be extremely overwhelming because as a foreigner in Czech Republic, I'm sure you know that you don't know if you're even eligible for mortgage. You have a language barrier because most of the bankers, they don't even speak Czech. You also have a completely different credit score than in your home country, and also there's a lot of bureaucracy that you need to undertake in order to get the mortgage. So in this episode we will go deep into the problematics of getting the mortgage in Czech Republic for the foreigners. And so in the end of this video you should be able to apply for the mortgage. You will know what banks you should work with or not, and you will be prepared to pay the deposit on your first property. So let's go. Hi, my name is Michal and I work as a mortgage specialist with 5 years of experience, and my job is to find the best bank for you which will finance your first property. So if you want to consult anything, feel free to ask questions in the comments, or if you are prepared and want to consult anything with me, feel free to book a free meeting with me. My calendar is in the description in the video below. There are basically three main categories that banks separate the clients. Either you are born in Czech Republic, your income is in Czech Republic, or you are from European Union, or you are from the third world countries. Every single bank has different criteria which client they accept or not. So in order with that, there are banks who accept only EU citizens. So if you are from European Union, if you are a citizen from Germany or Austria, then it's perfectly fine. You only need to have income in Czech Republic. But we'll get to in the next chapter. First of all, you'll need to have residency. If you are a foreigner in Czech Republic, you need to have any form of residency, a card that shows where you live and for how long do you live there. So basically, if you have a temporary residency, it's gonna be pretty much complicated to apply for the mortgage. If you have a permanent residency, then you are on the same level as a Czech national. So if you have rodné číslo assigned and you have permanent residency, then you are on the same level as someone who's born in Czech Republic. But if you only have a temporary residency, přechodný pobyt, or dlouhodobý pobyt, long-term residency, in that case you will be categorized in the second group. Yes, so that means you will be able to get the mortgage, but you will be more scrutinized. They will ask you more information, and they will go in more depth in order to evaluate if you are able to get the mortgage or not. So third most important part is where your income is coming from. If your income is coming from Czech Republic, then it's perfectly fine. But if your income is coming from abroad, it can be pretty problematic or even impossible to get a mortgage. If you are someone who is from Vietnam, so if your income is coming from not employment but business, in that case it's gonna be impossible to get the mortgage here. So yeah, this is something that I will work with. I'll ask you all the questions that I'll need to evaluate if you are coming from European Union or from abroad. If you are coming from a foreign country, then I'll need to see where the income is coming from. If it's coming from Czech Republic, then it's perfectly fine. So, but there are some banks that need to see for how long do you live here. So, for example, typically it's ČSOB, Československá obchodní banka, which requires you to live here for at least 2 years, and your income must be coming from here for at least 2 years. If you are eligible for that, then they will accept your income, but it must be from Czech Republic. But there are banks like mBank or Raiffeisen stavební spořitelna, which can give you a loan even if your income is coming from abroad. Getting a mortgage here in Czech Republic can be problematic for someone from abroad. So if you want to prepare all the documents you will need for the bank, is first of all the permit, the residency permit. You will need also the type of income where your money is getting from. It can be from basically three sources. You can be employed. In that case, your bank will require you to provide your income statement and also the bank statement from the where your salary is being paid to. So they will need to see if your income is coming to your account in the clean form. So basically, they want to see how much do you get. They don't care about hrubá mzda, the brutto income. They only care how much money you get every month in netto. So they will need to see what type of income you have. In case you are employed, then you only provide the income statement and the bank statements. And if you are a contractor, if you work as a OSVČ, which means not an employee, a business owner, in that case, they want to see your taxes. What taxes do you pay for the last year? Or if you work as an IT consultant, but you own a business, then it can be categorized in form of paušální daň. This is something that's specific for Czech Republic. You can have income coming from being self-employed, but you are in contract with only one single company. In that case, they will deduct all the taxes, all the insurances, and your income will be lower in purposes of the mortgage than you get on your bank account. Yeah, so you need to keep this in mind. How much do you get from the company? It doesn't necessarily have to be the income that's working for the bank. Yeah, so this is something I'll need to keep in mind. Also, what the bank will check is the credit history. If you already have a loan in Czech Republic, it can be pretty beneficial for a foreigner because the bank already evaluated how much what's your earnings minus your payments on a monthly basis. Then in that case the bank is more willing to give you the loan. Also, there's no such thing as credit score as in US here in Czech Republic, because in every single bank, the bank is evaluating every single client every single time from the beginning. So there's no such thing as credit score as in the US. So every single bank is evaluating your income minus your monthly payments, and the total amount of monthly payments in Czech Republic for all the loans you have cannot exceed 50% of your netto income. This is something that's really important, especially if you are a foreigner getting money from employment. So your netto income is the limit what you can get on the monthly payment. Yeah, so this is you need to keep in mind. Also, the next part is your age. If you are younger than 36 years, you are able to get a 90% mortgage, which means that you can pay 90% from the mortgage and only 10% from your own money as a down payment. Yeah, so this is only for people who are younger than 36 years, and also they are eligible to take a mortgage in that current bank. Yeah, so this is something you need to keep in mind. Also, you need to be employed for at least 2 years, but some bank, they don't care. They only need 3 months of employment, and in that case, you will be able to get the mortgage. Some banks, they care about how long you live in Czech Republic, but some banks, for example, Komerční banka, they don't really care how long you live or how long do you have the přechodný pobyt. as long as your current income is coming from Czech Republic and it's for a long period of time. So yeah, okay. One thing that I want to mention that most of the clients don't know, because you have a language barrier. If you want to apply for the mortgage, then you go to your home bank. They tell you that, all right, with your current income, you won't be able to take any mortgage because our methodology is based on for Czech people. And in that case, the banker will tell you wrong information about how the process works. So this is something that it's not even possible for you to visit every single bank, because we have 13 banks here in Czech Republic who can give you a mortgage, and it's not even possible to visit every single one because the bankers don't speak English. So if you want to get the correct information about the mortgages, it's not even possible. It's not even in human possibilities to get all the information you need to get the best option for you. So that's my job, to communicate with every single bank that is here in Czech Republic and ask them what are the conditions for the foreigners. But what I think is the best option for you if you want to apply for the mortgage, there are currently 4 banks that can approve the mortgage without the real estate you want to buy. This is really important. There are 4 banks who can approve the mortgage. They can approve the maximum mortgage you can get with your current income, and you have 3 years to find the real estate. This is something that most bankers don't even know because it's a product that is sold by the competition bank. So you can have the maximum mortgage loan approved already. The bank cannot withdraw from the approval of the mortgage. You also get even better conditions than if you want to apply for the mortgage after you buy the property, or after you sign the reservation contract. So this is something that's enormously beneficial for you. The best way how to do it is have the mortgage already approved. In that case, you will be increasing your chances to buy a property, because most of the real estate agent, if you are a foreigner, they don't really want to take you on the preview of the property, because first of all, they don't understand English. Second of all, getting a mortgage for a foreigner is pretty complicated. But if you have the mortgage already approved, then you can tell it to the real estate agent, and they see it as a buying signal. So they take you as someone who is prepared to buy. And also, let me interrupt myself. If you want to take a mortgage here in Czech Republic, it can be really problematic for a foreigner, especially if you have a language barrier, if you don't speak Czech language. So if you want to discuss it, we don't have to work together on the mortgage. If you would just want to discuss anything you want to ask, feel free to book a consultation with me. It's completely for free. I'm only paid by the banks, so if we work together, you will not be paying me any money. I will get the money from the bank itself. So if you want to consult anything, feel free to book a reservation. In my calendar. My calendar is in the description of the video below. Feel free to go there. Thank you very much. You are on the same level as someone who's from Czech Republic, but on the same level as someone who has cash, who's paying cash, who's not taking mortgage. And that's really important because the real estate agent wants to sell the property as fast as possible. Yes, so this is something you need to keep in mind, because if you want to increase your value on the market, increase the chances you will be chosen as the one who buys the property, in that case, I really recommend you to have the mortgage already approved. And in that case, you will have the interest rate already set up. You have 3 years to find the property you want to buy, and you will be paying only after you find the real estate you want to buy. So you will be paying the mortgage only after you will be sending the money to buy the property. Yeah, so first monthly installment of the mortgage will be the month after you buy something. Yeah, so this is something that I recommend every single client to have the mortgage already approved. You have the conditions set up, and the bank cannot withdraw from the contract because you already have the mortgage signed. Yeah, so there's no only pre-approval, you have the mortgage already signed. So this is something that you need to keep in mind, and this is something that you want to have if you want to buy real estate. Also, talking about real estate agents, most real estate agents I know, they don't speak English. So yeah, if you want to buy something here in Czech Republic, I recommend hiring a real estate agent who will represent you. And if the real estate agent sees that the applicant is with a Czech name, not some foreign name, they will be willing to take you on the preview of the property. This is something that most real estate agents, they don't tell you about. But if they see a foreign name, they rather choose someone else to take on the preview of the property than to hustle with English. Yeah, so they don't speak English. They don't know even how to pronounce days of the week. So yeah, they can't even arrange a meeting with you. If you want to go on the viewings of the property, I recommend someone to do the previews in your name, not in your name, but in someone else's name. All right. So let's talk about the specific banks. I wanted to go deep, and I wanted to provide all the information you can get from all the sources. So let's have a look at let's have a look at 4 examples of the bank, so you can see how the banks work with a foreigner. If we will have a look at let's say ČSOB, Hypoteční banka, they accept a citizen of European Union with přechodný pobyt, with temporary residency, only if his income is coming from Czech Republic and it is coming for at least 2 years. In that case, they don't really care about the residency. They don't care if you have the permanent residency or přechodný pobyt. They only care about the income. If the income is coming from Czech Republic, they will be more willing to approve the mortgage. Also, they have other conditions that apply. But yeah, if you are Czech, if your income is coming from Czech Republic, then it's gonna be fine. In Komerční banka, you need to have rodné číslo, the nationality number assigned. In that case, you can apply for the mortgage. If you don't have the national number assigned, they are not willing to give you a mortgage. In mBank, if you have rodné číslo assigned, they don't really care about your residency, but they care about where your income is coming from. But in exception, they can also accept your income from foreign countries. So, for example, if it's coming from any European Union country, then they can accept also the income coming from a business. This is something that's not possible in any single bank other than mBank or Raiffeisen stavební spořitelna, where the banks don't really accept any income coming from a business that's from a foreign country. There are some exceptions. For example, if your income is coming from an employment in a foreign country, in that case, it can be approved. But in most cases, if you want to apply for the loan but your income is coming from a foreign country, it's not possible. Last but not least is Raiffeisen Bank. They need to see if your current income is coming from a Czech Republic, but they need to see that it's coming from at least 1 year. And from my experience, they also want to see the working contract. And in case you are a business owner, they need to see taxes for at least 2 years back. Yeah, so yeah. Also, if you want to apply for a mortgage in Raiffeisen Bank, they also have a specific condition that the age as I told you on the beginning, if you want to apply for 90% mortgage, then you'll need to be younger than 36 years. In Raiffeisen Bank, there's a specific condition that they only evaluate the younger of the pair. So if you have a younger wife, then in that case you can apply for the mortgage in Raiffeisen Bank and get the 90% mortgage if you are eligible for that even. So yeah, there are multiple things that are coming if I want to evaluate if you are able to get the mortgage. If you have something you want to discuss, feel free to ask in the comments below, or even better, book a meeting with me. It will be down in the description of the video, so feel free to ask me any questions you have. You can do it either in person in Brno, or we can have it online, so I don't have to travel to Prague or Plzeň or wherever you are. So it will save us time on traveling, so feel free to book it right now. What most people, foreigners here in Czech Republic, underestimate is being too optimistic about the reservation contract and working with real estate agents. This is something that's not completely my part of the job. I'm here to have the mortgage approved, but this is something that involves a lot of risk, because if you want to buy a property here in Czech Republic, you need to pay the reservation, sign the reservation contract, and after that you'll need to pay the reservation deposit. Usually it is about 2% to 5% of the price of the property. So in order to have the real estate reserved, you need to sign the reservation contract and pay 200,000-300,000 crowns in order to have the property reserved only for you to buy. And the reservation contract is only for 30 days, or sometimes it's an exception that you can have the reservation contract for 60 days. Which means that you have 30 or 60 days to go to the bank, to have all the documents prepared and approved, and also have the evaluation of the property done. The evaluation itself takes around 2 weeks. And also you'll need to have all the documents for the approval complete. So you will need to have the permanent residency already in your hand. You'll need to have income statement from your employer on the specific form that is given to you by the bank. And after that, and also this can take even 2 weeks to have all the documents prepared, plus the evaluation of the property. So we have 1 week for approval of the mortgage, and this week will be the most stressful week of your life, because if you don't sign the buying contract after the period of 30 days, your reservation deposit is cancelled and it's kept by the real estate agent. So that's why I recommend to have the mortgage approved already before you sign the reservation contract, because you are going to the risk losing 200,000 crowns. So this is why every single time I work with a foreigner, we need to have the mortgage approved already before you sign the reservation contract. Because having the stress that being bombarded by real estate agent for every single day, what's the status of the mortgage, when can we sign the contract, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming because this is not something you can control. And sometimes the approval, or if you have all the documents ready and already given to the bank, it can take even 3 weeks to have the mortgage approved. So this is something you need to keep in mind, that if you want to apply for the mortgage only after you sign the reservation contract, it can take 2 months. 2 months to have the mortgage approved. So that's why I want to emphasize this. You need to have the mortgage approved before you buy something. Even if you don't know the price of the property you want to buy, you can have the maximum loan you can get approved, and you will be using only half of it, that doesn't matter. You will be paying only half. If you take only half of it, there will be no sanction for not using the whole amount of the mortgage. So yeah. All right. After you will sign the reservation contract, you have 30 days to sign the buying contract. This is something that is the most important part of the transaction. After you have the mortgage approved, we will have the mortgage document signed. We will have the mortgage contract itself, the zástavní smlouva in Czech. Then after that, we will be signing the buying contract, the zástavní smlouva, the mortgage contract itself, and also we will be signing advokátní úschova, which means the escrow account. The money are held there to secure that you will be having the real estate after the contract is finished. So this is something I recommend to have. Not recommend. This is something that's needed to have in order to finish the contract, because also the bank is going into the risk of not having any property in the mortgage, and also you will be risking to in the end not have any property and not have any money in the end of the contract. So yeah, this is something that's needed to have advokátní úschova, the escrow account, so the money will be kept in the lawyer account, and that lawyer will be sending the money to the owner of the property only after you are the new owner on the register of the properties in Czech Republic. So yeah. Also, this is something that most of the clients are asking me, when I will be able to get in the property, to move to the property. This is not something that's specified in any contract. You can negotiate it, but it's completely independent on any day. Usually, the correct procedure is that you will be moving to the property only after you will be the owner of the property. This usually takes 20 days after all the money are in the deposit, even from the bank, and also from your side. After that, the buying contract will be released to the real estate register, and 20 days after that, you will be the owner of the property. So the keys from the property are handed over only after those 20 days when the buying contract is on the register. Okay, what you need to keep in mind that the reservation contract cannot be included in the mortgage. You need to keep this in mind, because if you want to get the mortgage, you will need at least 10% of your own money if the conditions are met. Usually the foreigners have the mortgage approved for 80%. That means that you'll need to get 20% of your own money. And also you need to keep in mind you'll need to pay the deposit from your own money even before all the transaction is started. So you'll need to keep in mind that you will need at least 300,000 crowns to reserve your property. So this is something you need to keep in mind. All right, let's talk about the interest rate, because sometimes, usually the bank, they have multiple levels of interest rates. If you have 70% mortgage, then they give you a lower interest rate than if you want to take a 90% mortgage, for example. But there are banks who are giving every single client the same conditions, and they don't care about having 80%, 90% mortgage, or if you are a foreigner, they give every single client the same conditions. They don't care. If you want to know which bank it is, then book a consultation in the calendar below. All right. So currently the interest rate is around 4.39 at the best, but I have seen mortgages with 7-6% in case there's a foreigner, there's high risk involved. So yeah, it can depend on the bank which is evaluating your risk involved. So there are some banks that give all the clients the same conditions, and also there are some banks that evaluate your risk, the risk involved with the specific mortgage. And if they find out that have a low credit score, then in that case they can increase the interest rate. So you will know the final interest rates only after the mortgage is approved. This is something I don't like really, because I want to know what will be the interest rate that the bank is providing me. And I want to have the mortgage approved before I find the real estate I want to buy. One last thing. If you want to apply for the mortgage here in Czech Republic, I have heard some incredible stories that were not really happy. Some real estate agents, they are trying to hustle you. They want you to sign the reservation contract, and if it happens that you won't get the mortgage, they won't give you the reservation payment back. This is something is really not so uncommon. I've seen it multiple times that the real estate agents, they are exploiting the foreigners, and this is something I can help you with, to not be exploited. So if you want to get the mortgage, buy your first property, have someone who will be guiding you regarding all the processes involved, regarding mortgages, regarding checking the contracts, regarding not making any mistakes, feel free to ask for help. I will be really happy to help you, because I have multiple clients that I have helped with. So I will be really happy to help if you want to buy your first property here in Czech Republic, because it can be really problematic and lots of questions involved. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, book a consultation with me. I will be happy to help. It's completely for free. We will be checking all your current income statements. We'll be checking your bank accounts. We'll be checking all the criteria of all the banks here in Czech Republic, and you will be choosing the correct bank for your specific situation. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. If you have someone who's considering buying a property and he's willing to take a mortgage here in Czech Republic, feel free to recommend him. I will be happy to help him as well. Also, if you recommend someone to have the mortgage already approved, I will be paying you a referral fee. Currently, it's set to 5,000 crowns for every single million that the client takes. So usually the mortgage is around 5 million. So if you recommend me a client, you can get 25,000 crowns just for recommending a friend. So yeah, thank you very much. Will be really appreciated.